This is my best teams video for Evolution Cup, and today we're gonna check out not only a bunch of teams but at the same time their strongest assets, the core breakers, and how you can manipulate any bad lead opponent with a certain strategy for each individual team. So stay tuned till the end of each individual team because you definitely do not want to miss that crucial information about the entire meta of Evolution Cup. Let's see what we have going on here with the first team out of the total 4, and we're gonna use a Dragonair up in front while at the back Togetic with that Charjabug will take over as our back line. The core breaker of this team is mainly gonna be an ice type Pokemon and none other than Piloswine. This is mainly because those icy moves are gonna hurt a lot your Dragon type up in front, while against the Togetic is gonna have kinda the upper hand. Also the ground typing of Piloswine is gonna be able to resist by a lot that Volt Switch damage that you can do with that Charjabug, but still a couple of crunches, a couple of X-Scissors can still manage with that threat. Not only that, your Dragonair under shielding can still finish off Piloswine, so eventually you can see that with a little bit of synergy, with a little bit of rotation around your Charjabug, you're gonna have the upper hand even against a threat like Piloswine. So about this team, what you need to be afraid of is also something like a neutral matchup. Do not let your opponent farm a lot on your Dragonair. Do some damage on them, especially if you have a Shadow, then retreat to your safe switch, which happens to be Togetic, and then rely on your Charjabug on the end game. What I like about Togetic on this team is that it can surprise the opponent with something like a Dazzle, has access to Aerial Ace and Ancient Power. This is a choice for you to make for this charge attack, but just keep in mind that Dazzle is gonna be the big nuke that you have and you must have on your Togetic. So about your fast attack, Steel Wing is gonna be a legacy one, but Fairy Wind is also gonna be there for you if you lack that Steel Wing like I do over here. So for Charjabug, Discharge and Crunch are gonna be your main charge attacks, to be fair, and that's mainly because you want to get the maximum amount of coverage with that Pokemon. X-Scissor is gonna help you, but with the Discharge you get access to finish off the flyers like the Golbat, or with Crunch to finish off the ghost type, something like a Dusclops or a Honda. And what are we doing if we're not having a Vigoroth on Evolution Cup? So here it is on the second team showcase, since this entire cup could easily be renamed to Vigoroth Cup. This Pokemon is very useful, this Pokemon is very safe for the entire format, and this is mainly because of Rock Slide and Body Slam in combination with that counter as the fast attack. You can get there at a very good amount of pace. This Pokemon is a normal type 1 and this makes it one of the best safe switches on the entire Evolution Cup. Up in front we have Golbat, at the back alongside our Vigoroth there is gonna be as a closer, this time it's Vilus, and this team is looking very strong even against the core breakers. So over here I have Silo, and that's mainly because unlike Piloswine, this Pokemon can have a much better matchup, especially under shielding against the Vigoroth, so that's why I have it over here. As a closer, Archvilus is still gonna struggle against those ice types, but unlike Golbat, it is gonna be able to do so much more work against Charjabug, which is another Pokemon that Golbat is afraid of. So what I recommend doing against any bad lead, even against an ice type like Silo, is to still rotate around your Vigoroth, try to do as much work as you can on that Pokemon, use your Vigoroth mostly as a punching bag. If they want to stay in, this is absolutely awesome. If they want to switch out, this is still good for you because you can push for some shields in the process, so that then you can have the upper hand with the shields on the end game with your Vilus, and this is the main strategy that you need to follow with this team. Keep your Vilus as your pure closer. Your opponent will not even expect the absolute damage that this Pokemon can do with the Dragon Breaths, and eventually finish them off with a couple of charge attacks because after all you have the shield advantage. Next up we have an ABA team style with a fighter up in front, while a fighter is also gonna be at the back. In between we're gonna fit in there a Dusclops, which is absolutely insane even on its shadow form. I recommend going with this Pokemon with the exact moveset that I have over here, with Hex, with Ice Punch and Poltergeist for the nuke against unsuspected and especially neutral opponents. Up in front, Primeape can always use Night Slash as its main charge charge attack, but I recommend going for Ice Punch for your second for those flyers. Over here I have close combat, but I have figured that Ice Punch is gonna help a lot more against that Golbat matchup, so there goes that. And you definitely need that extra coverage with this team because you are also ABA weak to that Golbat as well. So with Ice Punch you get that extra coverage that you need. At the back, Hakamo is gonna be absolutely clutch, not only against Vigoroth like the rest of the team, but also against neutral opponent, having access to Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail in combination with Brick Break to use it only on Vigoroth. As a core breaker here, we're gonna have Togetic unfortunately, and that's mainly because this Pokemon is gonna be able to dominate, especially with Aerial Ace and its typing against those fighters, while it also carries Dazzling, which can do so much damage even to our Dusclops. Are you gonna see a lot of Togetics out there? Well, who knows? I used one before in a previous team showcase, perhaps you're gonna see a few as well. So just keep that in mind, that even against a Togetic up in front, your strategy is to stay in there with your Primeape, go straight for those Ice Punches, and obviously at some point you are gonna bring your Dusclops into play to eventually finish it off, leaving Hakamo most probably with something that it is not gonna be afraid of. So definitely Hakamo is gonna emerge as a big closer, especially against Vigoroth for Evolution Cup. Time for my final team showcase, and we're gonna see an ABB team style. This team is extremely good offensively, but defensively not so much. It is gonna struggle a lot, so it definitely needs some shielding in the process, but hopefully there is a unique strategy that you can follow to finish off any opponent out there, and that is to rotate around your Sileo. This is a classic ABB team style, which means that one of your backline Pokemon, one of those bees from ABB, is gonna be able to aggressively come into the battle, draw out Vigoroth, finish it off then either with a couple of body slams if you have a Shadow Sileo, or just do as much damage as you can, while your Haunter will most likely have the upper hand on that Vigoroth matchup, and eventually you can finish it off. With that Vigoroth out of the way, then your Palswine will most likely have no other weakness at the back, so we're looking at a team that can definitely provide a lot of pressure on that factor. As a core breaker here, I have this Crocalor. I think that is the correct name of that Pokemon. This is the mid-evolution form from the Skeledirge family, and this Pokemon is pretty much like Skeledirge, so yeah, kinda bulky as well, which is a pretty good one and a pretty cool Pokemon to have for Evolution Cup. Are you gonna see a lot of those Crocalors? I'm not sure about it, but if you do, well, I don't know what you can do, okay? Because this Pokemon is fairly bulky for Evolution Cup, it can survive the moves while you have almost nothing to throw at it, so just play accordingly, do whatever you want against that Pokemon. Anyways, now, besides that Crocalor core breaker, I do not believe that you have anything else to worry about. Just go ahead and use a Shadow Haunter if you have one, because that Shadow debuff on the defensive stats, it is not gonna matter at all. Haunter is already too glassy, while the attack stat is just gonna do even more damage, and you're gonna see that Haunter just doesn't care about any matchup out there, and simple Shadow Ball will destroy it down and one shot down whatever remains at the back, while a simple Ice Punch can still do a lot of damage to a Vigoroth or a Flyer. That is gonna be all for today, trainers. Smash that like button before you go if you enjoyed my content today, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my stuff, and of course over here I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.